What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Sisters, season 2, episode 5. Um, so we pick up where we left off. Andy is excited. She sees Fatima. They celebrate. She lets Fatima know what went down. And she picks up her money, honey, and she about to walk up out of there. She invites Fatima to come and hang out. They do, they're having the big thing for Maurice at the little club later on that day. Uh, she runs into the dude that whose grandmother that she saved, last season. I don't know what his name is. We're gonna call him Perry. I don't know. That just sounds like it could be right. I don't know. Anyway, they sort of have a little moment, and then he messes up and he says something about you being in a relationship, and he was like, "But I know you going through some things," and she was like, "Who told you that? Who told you that?" And he was like, "I mean, I was here when the FBI came." Well, you don't know me. You think you know me, but you don't know me. So first of all, Perry, you ain't have to say nothing about the FBI. You could just be like, first of all, you didn't have to say nothing about her going through nothing. All you had to say was, "I know you in a relationship, but I really want to thank you for what you did for my grandmother, and I want to take you out to dinner." Stop. That's it. You don't need to say no more. So, she ends up walking up out of there, and he goes to talk to Fatima, and he basically was like, "Yo, so can you put in a good word for me?" And she was like, "Cause see, you nosy, you listening to, office gossip, and I don't get into the gossip, and I ain't playing that game, so no, I ain't got nothing to do with it. You do what you do." And he was like, "Dang, that's cold." She was like, "Whatever, that's cold." So Sabrina goes down to the job. She sees her supervisor. And here's the thing, y'all. Let me explain something to y'all. Less is more. And what I mean by that is her supervisor was getting ready to call her into the meeting to talk about whether she was going to lose her job or not, right? And all, like there was no need. She was like, "Well, let me just say something before I go in there." And the girl was trying to tell her, "You ain't got to say nothing." And she was like, "Well, I really want to I want to explain myself." And she starts going off on this whole thing about how she's never done this before, and they can look at her record. Girl, what you think they've been doing while they sent you home? You think they didn't pull your records? You think they didn't check your accounts and every transaction that you'd have made probably in the last 6 months? Girl, supervisor was like, "Stop. We know. We did a full audit. You're good. You made a bad decision in this situation, but they not gonna fire you. But you do have a 3-day suspension." And she was like, "Oh." Her supervisor was like, "Oh, girl, they wanted to send you home for a month or however long, 30 days, whatever." And she was like, "Oh, okay, okay." Supervisor was like, "Okay. Sign this document saying that you just getting back from your 3-day suspension." She was like, "What?" She was like, "Girl, I'm trying to, if you don't sign this paper, like, I'm trying to look out for you. Girl, now go to work." Now, here's the thing I was a little confused about. I thought that Sabrina was like some sort of like branch manager. Now, I know we've seen her be a teller, but we've also seen her go into the office and take care of paperwork. So I don't know if she's like a pseudo, like mid-management thing. I don't know. But she says, "Listen, we get ready, we training somebody. I want you to help me get this dude trained up." I think his name is Josiah, Jeremiah, Jerry. Um, and she says, "Well, what about Maurice? It's only until Maurice gets back." And her boss was like, "Yeah, until Maurice gets back." Okay. So she calls Maurice. Maurice is still down to the club telling them how to decorate for the party, drinking himself a margarita. And she was like, "Maurice, you might want to get your ass back to work because they done hired somebody new and they training him. And I don't know if he here to replace you or not." And Maurice was like, "Girl, I'm on disability. Ain't nobody coming down there." She was like, "Well, he cute." He talking about something, "I'm on my way." Now, do y'all want me to be really nitpicky and petty about this whole situation and how that's not how any of this shit works? Um, Maurice, if you were out on disability and the paperwork has been filed and they don't expect you back, you can't come back until your doctor clears you. I've been out on disability. I know what it's like. I know the process. Okay. Um, Maurice ends up showing up down there with a walker child, being real extra and real dramatical. You know how it is. And here's a couple of things that struck me as really weird in this little scenario. If one of your coworkers was beaten to the point that they were in a coma, whether it was a gay bashing situation, whether they were robbed, whether whatever, they were a part of a violent attack. You ain't nobody gonna come out and be like, "Wow, welcome back." Ain't nobody say nothing. They just see you coming up in there on a walker. And you just get to go back to your job. So, of course, it's a whole moment with Maurice being nasty to the new guy, telling him what he not going to do and how he not going to take his job and move away from my station. And then he ends up talking to Sabrina and was like, you like him, don't you? And Sabrina was like, no, I don't. He was like, yes, you do. And child, whatever. So, that was that. What happened next, child? So, and the guy was flirting with Sabrina. I feel like it's going to be something, a little something, something with the two of them. I don't know. And Maurice does end up inviting him to come to his little party. It seems like everybody going to the party, right? So Maurice does end up inviting him to come to his little party. And he was like, well, you know, it's at the gay club. And he was like, no, did he invite him? I don't know, but I feel like every time they invited somebody to this party, they had to be like, it's at a gay club. It's at a gay club. It's at a gay club. And there's a part of me that's like, okay, I get that. But then there's a part of me that's like, girl, like, you don't need to do all that. But whatever. So, then we down to the shop with Karen. So Karen is at the shop. She got herself, I don't know what the hell that was she had on, child. But she was down to the shop. And her assistant, no, Andy. No. Let me rewind. Andy was at work and she was on a break and she called Cowboy, and she, in her Andy way, apologized. Like, that's probably the best that she was gonna get. That was probably the best that she was gonna get. In her own way, he apologized. And he said, you know, I mean, and so when the phone rang, she thought it was him calling her back, but it wasn't. It was a guy looking for Zach, because Zach didn't show up for work, and it was Zach's co-worker, manager, whatever, and that's when she found out that Zach wasn't at work. And she was just like, well, can you cover for him? Let me try to find out where he is. And he was giving her a hard time, but ultimately he said he would cover. I'm not getting into all of that, child. So she calls Karen. Karen lets her know, look, Zach is locked up and I ain't getting him out of jail. She was like, what you mean? She said, this man could lose his job. She was like, I don't care. That's his fault. He did it to himself. And she was like, well, what happened? Like, what do you mean? Like, she was like, I was at the hotel with Aaron and he broke in and he got arrested. And I'm not getting him out of jail because it's his fault. He did it. She was like, but for real though, Karen, I get that, but this man could lose his job. She was like, oh, well, he could lose his job, but I ain't getting him out of jail. So then Andy comes through there with the suit, with the daggone purse full of money, telling, you know, Karen how things went to the job and everything went well or whatever. And she was like, and they set Gary up. And Karen is like, girl, but didn't you say there was some other issues with him, which I've been saying all along, that they may very well have set him up, but Gary is still an ass, okay? So she was like, yeah, but, you know, but I don't know. And she said that she ran into the other dude. You know, she said that he ran into the other dude, and you know, the guy, the grandmother, whatever. And Karen was like, okay, but you like him. And she was like, but I'm with Gary, but I love Gary. And she sort of asked her about the whole like abusive thing, because, you know, back in college, Andy was in an abusive relationship, and Andy was like, girl, I'm not going to let it happen again. I done told y'all I'm good. I'm not going to let no man beat on me. I got this. We good. And she was like, you good? You sure? And she was like, I am good. So then she shows her all the damn money. And okay, listen, I just can't. Some shit I just can't, y'all. A man who is sitting in jail right now for embezzlement sends you $250,000 in cash, and you don't see nothing wrong with that. She gonna say where the money come from. Andy was like, girl, I don't know. I don't care. Like, whatever. She said, I'm on my way to the bank. Karen was like, you can't put that in the bank. And I'm thinking the same thing. Like, what makes you think you about to go make... First of all, everything you have is frozen. And they looking at you sideways. What make you think you can go put $250,000 in the bank? Child. So, Andy goes down to the bank. Why would Andy go to Sabrina's bank? The same Sabrina that damn near lost her job for transferring money for you from one account to the next. You gonna roll up in that same bank with $250,000 in cash, talking about something, let me get a safe deposit box so I can put the money in the safe deposit box. First of all, Sabrina, I would have put her ass out that back so damn fast. Like, I don't even want them to see you on camera talking to me. Period. Second of all, I would not get involved in that at all. You got $250,000 in cash that you don't know where it came from, but you know it came from the dude that's sitting it. Well, I mean, you know who it came from. You don't know how he got it. Sitting up in jail for embezzlement. And why would you put your girl in that type of situation? So, Andy, you could have went anywhere and got a safe deposit box without having to talk to anybody that you know. There are 5,672 banks in the city of Atlanta. Okay, you did not have to go to your friend's bank. You ain't have to do that to her. I cannot. I can't with these people. They just don't be thinking. Anyway, what happened next? So then we have Zach that's sitting in jail, and the police officer, the police officer comes over to talk to him, and she was like, "Listen, I'll let you out of jail, but what you gonna do for me?" And Zach was like, "Really? Like, I'm really not in the mood for this. Like, I think I lost my job today. Like, you know, I got lost." And she was like, "Well, I know what happened. You went down to the hotel looking for her, and you found her, and then you got into a fight." He was like, "Okay, cool. Like, that's what happened. You read my file, so what?" And she was like, "But I'm saying, what you gonna do for me if I let you go?" And he was like, I don't believe that you really turning this into a situation. And she was like, "I just want you to take me out to dinner, and then I want you to apologize." And he was like, "Yo, I don't apologize. Like, what you want from me? Like, I was young, I was stupid, I was dumb. Like, I was a kid. Like, you really still mad about that?" And she was like, "Well, listen, let me ask you a question. Was it a bet?" And he was like, she said, "No, tell me, was it a bet?" He said, "You really don't want to know the answer to that." She was like, "No, I really do. Was it a bet amongst you and your friends?" And he was like, "Yes, it was a bet." She was like, I knew it. She was like, "Don't you understand how that hurt me? And this, and this." And he was like, "Yo, like, I was a kid. I was stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I was dumb." And she was like, "That's all right. I'm over it." He was like, "Clearly you're not. Because we are still having the conversation. So clearly you are not over it." She was like, "It's whatever." She was like, "Well, do you understand how that made me feel? You said all the right things. Like, I mean, I already didn't think that I was pretty. I wasn't good enough." And then Zach Taylor, of all people, was showing me all this attention only to get what he wanted and leave me hanging. And he was like, "Listen, I said I was sorry. I was an asshole. But he said, but I tell you what, I really regret most of what I did." She was like, "Most?" He said, "I mean, I don't regret having sex with you. Sex was good." He said, "But I do regret how I treated you." I was like, sometimes Zach's so innocent. He's so honest to his own damn detriment sometimes. I'd be like, so then, she was like, "Well, that really means a lot." She said, "I almost believe you, but I really do have trust issues." He was like, "Well, I really do mean it." It was a moment. It was a pretty decent moment, And then she said, "Well, I don't have the power to let you out of jail." He was like, "I knew that." He said, "I knew that, but I apologize anyway. Like, I don't want you to think that I apologize just because I thought you could get me out of jail. I know you can't get me out of jail." She was like, "You free to go." He was like, "What you mean?" She said, "You free to go." Rewind. Andy told Karen she was wrong for not getting that boy out of jail too. But anyway, Zach ends up leaving, and it's Fatima. Fatima done got him out of jail. And of course, he was like, "I don't know what to say." She was like, "Listen, I'm hungry. Let's go eat." And so, Zach tries to give her a hug. And she was like, "Boy, if you don't back up off me." Back up off me, boy. So, then we have Andy and Sabrina have this conversation. And, not Andy, Danny. And Danny, let Sabrina know what went down with the cowboy. And Sabrina was like, "Girl, come on and get dressed to come out here with Maurice. Like, it is what it is." She made fun of her a little bit, but she was like, "Girl, come on down here to the club with us, whatever." She was like, "I don't even like Maurice. Why am I going?" She was like, "Girl, come on. Her and Maurice do not get along, child." Then Aaron went down to the salon to go see Karen. He apologized for the night before, told her he still wanted to spend time with her. And she invited him. She was like, "Well, I ain't going back to the hotel with you." He was like, "You ain't got to do that. It's cool. Like, I still want you, but that's cool." He was like, She invited him to go to the event for Maurice. She was like, well, it's a gay club. He was like, all right, that's cool. She was like, you sure? He was like, I don't care. He was like, I don't judge nobody. Like, who the hell am I to judge somebody? Like, you see my life. She was like, yeah, that's true. That's true. So they end up, so that's that, that was a cute little moment. That was a cute little exchange. I like Karen's hair. I like the new wig she wearing. I like it. I like it. Then we have Andy going to visit Gary in jail. Listen, these two wearing me out. So Andy was like, at first she went in there, all happy because she believes that he was set up, right? But then, Gary starts getting all jealous, asking about the lawyer. So Andy was like, you know what? I've really been trying to work with you, but I don't like this. I don't like this whole jealousy thing. I don't like it. It is not a cute look. It is not what I wanted. It is not making me feel good. He was like, well, what you talking about? What you mean? And he was like, I mean, this is just who I am. Either you going to accept it or you not. And she was like, but I don't like it. Like, he is trying to help you. And, the fact that you think that every man that's in my life, that something's going on with him, like, I'm going to need you to chill out. And he was basically like, but I'm not. She was like, see, she said you would get mean. He was like, so you've been talking to the wife? So you have been talking to my wife? She was like, listen. He said, but don't worry about it. We're done. This is over. This is a wrap. She was like, what? He was like, you heard what I said. Leave. This is a wrap. This is over. Don't call me no more. Don't come see me no more. We're done. And I want my money back. Andy was like, oh, that's what you think you ain't getting shit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm with Andy on that one because go to a judge and tell the judge you gave me $250,000 in cash and I won't give it back. Go tell the judge that. First of all, you can't prove Andy ever got the money because, see, her response was the wrong response because my response would have been, what money? What you talking about? That would have been my response. I wouldn't have even acknowledged that I had the money. Give me my money. What money? What are you talking? Boy, you tripping. Did the police get you a concussion when they slammed you against that wall? Because I don't know what you're talking about. And I would have walked right. I would have sauntered my happy ass right on out that bank. I sure would have. You ain't put the money in no type of account. And he mailed it to you in a damn box with a carrier. Yeah, Fatima signed for it. But once Fatima signed for it, that's where the chain of custody ends. I mean, worst case scenario, they're going to hem Fatima up and think that she took the money. But, girl, you just hit Fatima off a little something, something. She be all right. Packages come through there all the time. She'd just be like, I am so sorry. I sent it to another associate. I don't know where it went. He'd never see that damn money again. And he'd never be able to prove that I had it. And all I would do was every couple of weeks, I would just go down there and give me a little bit of change. He'd never see that money again. Anyway, it don't matter because next week she going to be calling him or he going to be calling her. And we're going to be right back where we started, child. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Talk to y'all later. Peace.